Tyler Lacer is one of the most successful athletes to come out of Hillsdale in the last 20 years. Not only did he go on and play Division I at the college level, but he has gone on to play professionally in Europe. He's an old friend of the program. Tyler, how are you?
I'm doing good.
First of all, you're getting married. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. August 2nd, we can't wait.
You've traveled the world, you've played basketball all over the world, and you're marrying a girl from Jonesville.
I know, sometimes that's a little unfortunate, but but no, I love her to death. I'm excited to start our journey together.
There's a great article that I posted on our Facebook page, Timeout with Andy Brown on Facebook.com. It was actually written back where you played in college, talking about how much you hate Jonesville from a sports rivalry standpoint. And, you know, the idea that you date a girl from there kind of blows your mind, but here you are marrying her.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said in the article that I'll still have Jonesville people send me friend requests on Facebook, and I will refuse to accept them just because they're from Jonesville. But, no, I mean, I grew up, you know, watching Rob Salisbury play Jonesville. I grew up watching Tyler Shear and Derek Kurtz destroying Hillsdale, so I just, like, had that passion and rivalry against them ever since I was a little kid, and you just can't shake it. You still have it a little bit.
Tyler Lacer is going to be getting married this summer, but you're not done playing overseas. You're right now trying to figure out where you might end up, right?
Yeah, right now I'm a restricted free agent this year, so my agent and I are just, you know, talking to teams, figuring out the logistics, and just figuring out where we're going to be next year.
What's it like playing in Europe?
It's completely different than playing in the States. First off, especially at the Division I level, you're completely spoiled, from the best hotels to just pampered with food after games, drinks. The locker rooms are amazing. And then when you go play in Europe, I mean, you got guys making big money, but we're getting dressed in like a rinky-dink locker room with the showers don't work. You got cockroaches running around. I mean, it's completely different. And then the fans are just ballistic over there. I mean, in our championship series, there was flares going off during the game. Fans smoke cigarettes during the game, so there's a cloud of smoke hovering over the court. It's nuts over there.
People are smoking cigarettes inside the gym where you're playing these games.
Yes, smoking cigarettes, and sometimes you'll get occasional butt thrown at you if you're playing well.
There's an anecdote in that article that somebody actually threw fireworks or firecrackers onto the court during a game.
Oh, yeah, happens all the time. And you just sometimes have to avoid them as you're running down. If it gets too crazy, the game will stop for 15, 20 minutes as they try and calm the fans down. But the worst, I can deal with fireworks, but the worst is loogies. When you're running up and down the court, getting loogies spit on you. Just getting spit on is very degrading. But, you know, sometimes you just got to shake your head, and the best way to get back at those fans is to get a win.
So, hit another three.
Yeah, another three, get a dunk.
It's a little surprising to me because I guess I don't have a feel for how passionate people are in Europe about the game of basketball. You think of it as an American sport, and I know it's growing around the world. But these teams in the leagues in which you've played, they really care about their local teams, don't they?
Well, first off, the way these teams are is it's a club. It's a club that has a soccer team, which you know how crazy soccer is. I don't know if you've ever seen 8th Street Hooligans, but these people are crazy for their club. So they support the soccer team. They support the basketball team. They'll support the tennis players in the club. And these clubs have been around for hundreds of years. So these fans are die-hard fans. And
they come out, and how many people would you estimate are in the crowd for one of your games?
Well, it's pretty interesting because the arenas, some of them are pretty big arenas, 12, 15,000, and some are smaller arenas where, you know, 3,000, 4,000. And, you know, we play a game completely sold out, fans are bananas, and they'll storm the court because we would win on the road. So the next game, fans would be suspended. So some games you'll play in front of a packed house, and sometimes you'll play in front of literally no one.
Because the fans have not been allowed to come in.
Yes, because they're not allowed to come in because they rioted the game before.
How does the quality of basketball sort of compare to where you played at Eastern Illinois?
Well, you know, European basketball is growing so much, and these guys can play. I mean, it's better than Division I basketball for sure. I mean, it's definitely a step up. You know, as far as the NBA, it's like those guys have game, but they're just freak athletes. It's absolute freak athletes, and a lot of guys that play in the NBA, I played against a lot of guys that played in the NBA that are over there in Europe, and they can't survive in Europe because they don't have the skill set. So these European guys are very, very skilled, but not always blessed with the athleticism that a lot of these NBA guys are.
You hear a lot about the difference between the international game during the Olympics and the way that the NBA players play, which is a lot of their systems are isolation, one guy on the one side and 4 on the other side, and try to break you down one-on-one. European basketball at the Olympic level, at least, is a totally different game, isn't it?
Well, I feel like European basketball is so heavily influenced by soccer. And if you watch soccer, you don't have isolations. You have such team ball. You pass it around, you're a unit. And that's even what basketball's like. I mean, the leading scorers in these leagues in Europe, you don't have 30-point scorers. You have 15, 14, 16-point scores, you know, so you move the ball and you play as a team the whole time. It's the extra pass, you know, there's no isolations in Europe.
What's life like for you? Obviously, you're on the other side of the globe from your family and all that. You're coming from a small town like Hillsdale, living in these European countries. Is the culture shock pretty severe, or how have you adjusted to it?
Well, my first year, it was kind of a shock. But my parents raised me to where I knew how to cook. When I went to college, I knew how to cook. I knew how to do my own laundry. I knew how to grocery shop. So, you know, the adjustment wasn't as hard as some people are. You know, some people on our team have gone out to eat every day, 3 times a day for their whole career. And, like, I think that's crazy. But, no, it's not too bad of an adjustment. You know, I was raised to be very independent, so it's not so bad.
Do you get an apartment on your own? Does the team supply you a place to live? How do the living arrangements work out?
Yes, they give you an apartment. The last 2 years I've asked for an apartment with a teammate because it can get very lonely being isolated in your apartment. So the last 2 years I've had a roommate, and I've really enjoyed that. My rookie season I had an apartment to myself, and it was a beautiful apartment, but I was just so dang lonely all the time. So now I'll have a permanent roommate in my future wife, so we'll have a good time living together and run around the cities that we're in.
What an incredible experience for both of you to travel to these different places and for you to be able to continue to play basketball. You talked in the article about how you've changed your game since you played at Eastern Illinois when you were really focused on the offensive side. How has your game changed now that you've started playing professionally?
Well, first off, my defense has come a long way. I used to joke with my college coaches that shooters don't play D, but I've wanted to become a more complete player, so I really have emphasized on defense, and now I'm one of the lockup defenders on our team. I pressure the point guard full court, and I really enjoy shutting down a player along with giving him buckets.
And you can still stroke it from downtown.
Oh, as soon as I get off the bus, I'm letting that thing fly.
He's locked and loaded, just like at Hillsdale High School. You said in the article that there are actually some similarities to the way that you play now to the way that you played for Brad way back in your high school days.
Yeah, well, with Coach Felix, he had a lot of trust in me, you know, and I could feel that as I played, and having that kind of confidence allows you to just play freely. When I was in college, you know, I come from Hillsdale, so I'm not playing studs every night, and I go from not playing studs to playing Division I guys every single night. So it was like a big adjustment for me my freshman year, and then I really started to feel comfortable just shooting the ball all the time, but catch and shoot, and I developed a very quick catch and shoot shot. So in college, I mostly hovered around the three-point line or gave pump fakes into one dribble pull-ups. I didn't attack the rim, and now I'm just maturing and confidence and continuing to work on my game. I use the pick and roll all the time. I get to the rim, and along with shooting.
Your senior year at college, you basically lost to a back injury. You applied for a medical red shirt, and that was not granted by the NCAA. Are you back to 100%? I mean, is the back completely healed? And how much do you feel like not having a senior year kind of held you back?
Well, as far as the back is doing great. You know, the doctor originally told me that I would be lucky if I was ever able to run again, and through prayer and support from my family and everything, I mean, I became more athletic. I've become stronger. Obviously, I pay attention to my back and take care of it a lot, but I really have no issues. But my senior year, I was just coming off of first team all conference. Different sports magazines was having me projected as a possible player of the year in our conference, or co-player of the year with Kenneth Fareed. We had a very good conference my senior year, and I was excited to make a push to the NBA and get invited to pre-draft workouts and camps and stuff like that. And so when I got hurt, it was like heartbreak, because this was something I worked for my entire life, and it almost got taken away from me. But I just kept fighting, kept grinding, and hopefully one day I'll still get my shot at the NBA.
I wanted to ask you about that because, for instance, the Detroit Pistons now have a D-League affiliate in Grand Rapids. You're really seeing a push toward, at the NBA level, kind of like a minor league where guys can develop and maybe feed a team down the line. What would it take for you, Tyler Lacer, you're still young, you're still working on your game and improving. What would it take for you to get an opportunity perhaps for one of those D-League situations?
Well, I've had opportunities for the D-League, but I don't want to play in the D-League.
So you're better off in Europe.
You're better off in Europe.
I see.
The D-League, the D-League's not what a lot of people think.
Okay.
They think it's a way to sneak into the NBA, and it's really not. I believe the D-League's for guys that don't play in the NBA to just get a few games under their belt. They send them down, they play a little bit, and then they bring them back up.
Right.
The talent is way better in Europe. The pay is way better in Europe. And I think the route to the NBA is better suited playing in Europe, showing what I'm capable of, winning championships, and then earning a spot in the NBA, getting an invite.
You had a really strong relationship and a close relationship with your high school coach, Brad Felix, who we've had on 1,000 times and who I've really come to respect and admire. And I know that you feel like he could actually coach up. He's a guy that has the skill set and the ability that he could even coach at a higher level if he ever chose to do it.
Absolutely. I believe that if he was a Division I coach, Felix would be a household name, like a Izzo Krzyzewski. If you look what he does with the local kids from the neighborhood, and to have 20-win seasons year in, year out, it's unbelievable. And then if he had the opportunity to go recruit talent to coach, he would just be a stud of a coach. He's already a stud of a coach, and I've said it over and over again. He's the best coach I've ever played for, and I'm including my coaches at a Division I level, my coaches on the USA team I played for, my coaches in Europe. He's the best coach I've ever played for from a knowledge standpoint, from the way he treats his players, and to the way he prepares us in scouting reports and play calling, every aspect. He is the best coach I've ever played for.
I want to get your thoughts on a couple other things before we let you go. Tyler Lacer joining us on the Timeout Show here at the Broad Street Downtown Market. You have a lot of gifts beyond playing basketball, and you're great with kids. I can say this because you work with my sons, especially Owen, over the last 2 years. The Tyler Lacer Skills Academy is something that, we've talked a little bit on the show, and we've done some stuff on Facebook about. But you've got an opportunity now to kind of give back to your hometown and to work with some young basketball players. What's that been like for you?
It's, originally I didn't know what to expect with it. I just thought it would be something fun to do to take up some time a little bit in the summer. But each year, this is my third year doing it, it's grown more and more, and it's really enjoyable to watch kids' games develop, I can see why my parents were teachers and how they developed a love of teaching, but like for your sons, for instance, like I give them nicknames as they're playing. I watched them do like professional level moves, from step backs to different spin moves to this and that, and it's almost hilarious to me to watch these little kids doing these big time moves, and that's just the evolution of the game. Kids are learning difficult moves from an earlier age, and that's just how the evolution of the game continues.
What I like about your Skills Academy, is, and I've had a chance to watch it a couple times, no one tells me about it, is you're not in there joking around.
No,
these kids are training, and they come back and they're whipped.
We're in there grinding.
And you know, the improvement that Owen even saw from just last year was pretty dramatic. You know, how do you find that? These are little kids in a lot of cases. You know, my son Wade is 9, and he's working out with you. How do you just have a good way with them? How do you kind of find that balance where we're here to work, but we also want to have fun?
Well, a lot of it, I think they have to kind of learn their way.
Right.
You know, like I'm not in there just like if they do something wrong, I'm not harping on them, because sometimes you just have to find your way, find your little niche, and because everyone's not going to do everything the exact same, you know. So, you know, I give instructions, I kind of give examples of how we're doing it, and then I just let them go essentially. And, you know, I give pointers here and there when they got, you know, a little sloppy footwork or something like that, but for the most part, they learn on their own. And I just encourage, and just have fun with them.
I think 10, 12, 15 years from now, you're going to have to hang up professional basketball, however many years down the road that is. You actually have a plan for what you might do after basketball. I hadn't heard about this until a couple weeks ago. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah, I'm a man with a plan, that's for sure. Well, after basketball, I want to own and run barbershops. I started cutting hair my freshman year in high school on my brother. You know, when we'd be in between haircuts, we'd still want to look sharp and fresh. So I told him, you know, I think I could do it because I'm an artist, I can draw. So, you know, when I would draw people, obviously I'd have to draw their hair. And so I told my brother, you know, let me try you out. So now it's been, you know, about 10, 11 years I've been cutting hair. I cut all through college, my teammates. I cut all my teammates like when I'm in Europe. And, you know, I just really enjoy it. It's a way to be artistic, and it's something that continues to grow, you know. And so, you know, I want to be a barber. I want to own barbershops, and I want to kind of develop my own form of hair cutting, you know, and it's just an art, and I enjoy it.
My nephew Trey is a laser cut man, and he'll go over there and hang out a little bit. And these kids, these guys that played on the team this year, and even my sons, they all look up to you. I mean, the fact that you were all, you know, a superstar player here at Hillsdale High School, and now you come back after playing professionally and you kind of give back to the community, and you're not, you know, too cool to talk to somebody or to talk a little bit about the game. I just think it means a lot to our community, because we need people like you to not disappear forever, but to come back and give back a little bit. And is that something you've thought about?
Well, you know, I don't think about that. You know, I just, when I come home, you know, when I meet up with my buddies, I'll say, hey, let's go here, let's go there. And they're like, no, I don't want to see anybody. I'm like, why? These are our people, you know, these are the people we grow up with, you know, and I've never wanted to shy away from who I am. And Hillsdale is definitely who I am, and I represent Hillsdale, and I want to always represent Hillsdale. So, you know, I love working with the kids. You know, a guy like Rob Salisbury, like, fueled the flame for my brother and I. So if people look at me that way, I mean, that's kind of cool. But like, I just want to be me, and I want to be a good person, and I want to promote love and not hate, you know, and so that's just what I do.
Two last things, and then we'll get you out of here. Tyler Lacer joining us on the Timeout Show. This LeBron thing, I think that basketball fans actually enjoy the offseason more than the actual season. You know, the trade rumors and the free agency rumors and all the rest of it, and with Twitter now and social media becoming so huge, this has become bigger than the actual games, I feel like. You know, and what's going on with LeBron right now, more people are talking about that than just about anything like baseball or any games that are actually happening.
Yeah, well, let this process be a lesson to everybody. Dan Gilbert might ruin his career by acting like a fool after LeBron left. You never burn your bridges. Right. You know, even if you're mad about something, never burn your bridges, because LeBron is considering returning to Cleveland, but why should he return when their owner was such a jerk when he left? You know what I mean? That's why you never burn your bridges. But as far as this offseason stuff, I mean, it is exciting. It's exciting to think of a superstar being in a different jersey, and a guy like LeBron, who's, you know, he's the Michael Jordan of this era right now. So I would honestly like to see him go back to Cleveland. I think, you know, to represent your home. I mean, it's not his home. Akron's his home, but like his home state. I just think that would be a really cool thing for him to return where he came from and, you know, maybe win a championship there.
Kyrie Irving's pretty good.
Kyrie Irving would be a perfect guy for him to play for. He's never played with a stud point guard. You know, he made a guy like Mo Williams an all-star, for goodness sakes.
That's right.
A guy like Kyrie, they could do all sorts of things together. And then Andrew Wiggins, a little guy underneath his wing. I mean, he's going to have tools there this year if he returns that he hasn't had in the past with Cleveland.
The Tyler Lacer Skills Academy is going on. It's 3 days a week. You work out for an hour, hour and a half. I think at Davis, right?
Davis.
If anybody wants any more information about that, how can they find out more information?
Well, I have a Facebook fan page, Tyler Lacer Skills Academy. You just search it. You go on there. You like it. I put up information of what we're doing and how kids are doing, and you know, it's honestly, the kids that come to it are getting so much better than everyone else, you know, and I have all ages. I have elementary, middle school, high school. I even have college athletes that come and partake in it. So your kids get to work out with a variety of people, and they're all good people. Everybody encourages each other, and we have a good time, and we work. We really work for an hour.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the time, Tyler. As always, good luck with the wedding coming up next month, and all the best as we follow your career in Europe.
Thank you very much.